In a quiet village at the edge of a dense forest lived a woman named Leena. Known for her kindness and wisdom, she was a source of strength for everyone around her. Whenever anyone faced trouble, they came to Leena for advice, and she always had the right words to ease their burdens. But behind her serene smile, Leena carried a weight no one knew about. Leena had lost her husband, Rajan, in a tragic accident several years ago. Since then, she had learned to hide her grief behind a calm exterior. Outwardly, she seemed strong, but inside, her spirit was weary. Though she never let her pain show, it was always there, like a shadow looming over her heart. One day, a severe drought struck the village. The crops withered, the rivers dried up, and the villagers, once filled with hope, began to despair. As the days passed, their spirits grew heavier. The once lively village became quiet, and people started losing faith that the rains would ever return. Seeing the suffering around her, Leena's heart broke. She wanted to help the people regain their strength, but for the first time, she found herself questioning her own. How could she guide others when her own soul felt drained, when she couldn't find the strength to heal herself? One evening, as the village gathered for prayer, an old hermit passed through. His eyes, deep and knowing, seemed to see right through Leena. After the prayers, he approached her and said, "Child, I can see the light in you, but it's dimming. You carry a burden that is not yours to bear alone." Leena looked at the hermit, taken aback. How could he know? She had never spoken of her sorrow to anyone. "I do not know what you mean," she replied softly. The hermit smiled gently. "You've been a pillar of strength for others, but you've forgotten to nurture your own spirit. There is a light within each of us, but when we neglect it, it fades. It's time for you to embrace your own spiritual strength." Intrigued by his words, Leena followed the hermit to a small hill just outside the village. From the top of the hill, they could see the parched land below, the fields dry and cracked. The sun was setting, casting long shadows across the land, and a deep stillness filled the air. The hermit sat down and motioned for Leena to do the same. "Close your eyes," he said, "and focus on your breath. Let go of everything you've been carrying." Leena hesitated. She had tried meditating before, but her thoughts would always return to the emptiness she felt. Still, something in the hermit's calm presence gave her hope, and she closed her eyes. "Imagine a flame," the hermit's voice guided her. "A small, warm flame inside your chest. It flickers gently, but it is there. This flame is your spiritual strength, your inner light. Now, breathe into it. With each breath, let it grow a little brighter." Leena focused on her breath, and in her mind's eye, she saw the flame. At first, it was dim, almost invisible. But as she breathed deeply, the flame flickered and grew, filling her with warmth she hadn't felt in years. For what felt like hours, she sat there, breathing, feeling the light within her grow brighter. A profound sense of peace washed over her, and for the first time since Rajan's death, she felt a deep connection to something beyond her pain. When she opened her eyes, the hermit was watching her with a knowing smile. "The strength you seek has always been within you. It was never lost, only forgotten." Leena's heart swelled with a new understanding. The drought, The village's despair, her own grief, all of it had clouded her vision of the light she carried inside. But now, she understood, true strength doesn't come from ignoring your pain or pretending it doesn't exist. It comes from embracing your inner light, nurturing it, and letting it guide you through the darkness. The next morning, Leena returned to the village with a renewed sense of purpose. She gathered the people and shared what she had learned. "We've all suffered," she said, "but the light within us is stronger than the drought, stronger than our fears. We can't control the rains, but we can choose to embrace the strength we carry inside." As she spoke, a sense of calm spread through the crowd. And though the sky was still clear, the villagers began to hope again, not because they expected the rains to save them, but because they had found the strength to endure. Later that evening, as Leena stood alone on the hill, she felt a single drop of rain fall on her cheek. She smiled, knowing that the true rain had already begun, the awakening of the light within.